Most people think personal branding is about social media, posting on LinkedIn, building a personal website, but that's not where personal branding starts. And misunderstanding this creates one of the biggest career blind spots I see among professionals. Over the last 8 years since moving to Australia, I've held 2 executive leadership roles, worked with ASX listed and Fortune 500 companies as a consultant, been headhunted twice, and in every role, been promoted within 6 months. That didn't happen because of luck, and it didn't happen simply because I worked hard. A lot of people work hard. What made the difference was understanding something most people overlook. Your career operates exactly like a brand, and like any brand, it has blind spots. When people hear the phrase personal brand, they often imagine influencers promoting themselves online, but the concept actually comes from brand strategy. In business, a brand is not a logo or campaign. It is the meaning people associate with an organization. The same applies to individuals. A personal brand is the professional reputation and meaning people associate with your expertise, character, and perspective. In other words, your brand exists in the minds of other people, not in your job title, resume, not even in the way you describe yourself. It exists in the perception of other people. Across research and professional practice, 4 elements consistently shape how personal brands form: identity, expertise, visibility, and reputation. Identity is the foundation and answers what do you stand for? What expertise do you bring? And what perspective do you offer? Without identity, people struggle to understand what someone represents. The second is expertise. This gives your personal brand credibility. People must believe that the individual has real knowledge, skill, or experience, and this can be demonstrated through achievements, insights, ideas, problem solving. The third one is visibility. This allows expertise to be recognized, and it might include speaking, publishing ideas, contributing to industry conversations, or maintaining a professional presence on platforms like LinkedIn. Visibility does not create the brand, it amplifies it. The final element is reputation, which is the accumulated perception of a person over time. It's shaped by behavior, relationship, and consistency, and ultimately, it becomes professional capital. Many people believe they need more confidence, or they believe they need to post more online, but the real issue is usually something else: positioning. People may be extremely capable, they may deliver strong work, but if people cannot easily explain what you are known for, your personal brand becomes diluted. And when that happens, opportunities often go to someone else whose expertise is easier to recognize. This is the same problem we see in organizational brands. If a company is not clearly positioned, it becomes interchangeable. The same thing happens with careers. When expertise is unclear, recognition becomes difficult. Personal branding became real for me when I started thinking about my career through the same strategic lens I use when analyzing brands. I realized that you can be highly capable, work really hard, and still be overlooked if people don't clearly understand what you stand for. So I became intentional about the expertise I wanted to be known for, intentional about the ideas I contributed to conversations, and intentional about how my work and my perspective were communicated. And that clarity changes how people talk about you. It changed for me. And it changes who invites you into conversations. It changes the rooms where your name is mentioned. Your reputation begins traveling way ahead of you. And that often shapes the opportunities that follow. When a personal brand becomes clear, 3 things begin to happen. First, recognition. People quickly understand who you are and what you represent. Second, trust. Consistency between what you say and what you do builds credibility. Over time, credibility becomes professional capital. Third, opportunity. When people clearly understand someone's expertise and trust their capabilities, they are far more likely to recommend, collaborate with, or hire them. This is why personal branding is closely linked to career advancement and leadership visibility. A personal brand is not self-promotion. It's not posting constantly online, not building a polished profile, and it is not about becoming an influencer. Those activities may contribute to visibility, but they do not define the brand. Your brand emerges from the combination of identity, expertise, visibility, and reputation. There are also structural reasons why personal branding has become more important. Professional visibility increasingly happens in public spaces like LinkedIn and industry media. Careers are less linear. People move across organizations and industries more frequently, which means reputation travels with them. And leadership increasingly requires influence beyond formal authority. As a result, professionals who clearly communicate their expertise and perspective often gain disproportionate opportunities. Today, I work with leaders and professionals on exactly this challenge, but we approach it through the lens of strategy, not trends or personal promotion, strategy. We focus on defining expertise clearly, positioning ideas effectively, and ensuring that visibility reinforces credibility, because the goal is not to be visible, the goal is to be understood. If this topic resonates with you, there are a few ways you can work with me. I run bi-monthly masterclasses on personal brand strategy for career growth, where we work through how to define your expertise, position your ideas, and strengthen professional visibility. I also work with leaders through leadership coaching, where we develop a personal brand strategy aligned with their personal goals and direction. You'll find more details in the description below. Personal branding is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming clearer about who you already are and what you bring to your field. When your expertise becomes clear, your leadership becomes easier to recognize, and that clarity can positively shape the trajectory of your career.